Hi everyone. Alright, so I just finished watching Blood in the Streets. I know, day late. It aired yesterday, but I was finally able to watch it. Before I say anything else, those that have not watched Blood in the Streets for Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 4, you're going to want to watch it before even hearing this review. The next thing I'm going to basically say after this is, I really liked it. I'm going to give this one a 9.5. There was zombies in it. We got to see at the very beginning Nick basically get ashore and got to see how he took out a zombie by basically going in a tent and just doing the screen and letting the zombie kind of walk into it, and then he kind of grabbed it by the jaw and then put his knife through the head. And then brought him in, and you could tell as he's starting to do the gut, he obviously caught on to the guts trick, because he cut the zombie open and he started putting the blood and everything on himself. I'm going to go through parts with Nick first, and then I'm going to go through what happens on the boat. As far as what I thought was going to happen, it's actually it was actually a lot different than what I thought. And with Nick, he used the guts trick to basically move around wherever he was at, and he finally found his location because you could tell Strand wrote down the address and kind of gave a location of where it is, and he followed it up to the house that he was supposed to go to, and he's trying to look in the window. He kind of knocks on the front door, and this person comes up behind him, and Nick's trying to convince him really quickly, hey, don't shoot me, I'm with Strand. Let me go ahead and take out the sheet of paper, and it says, see, Abigail? And, excuse me. And, the two of them talk, and he's talking about the character is named Louise. Louise is talking about just getting him and Strand across, just two people, and Nick's talking about getting the entire group across, which Louise is going, no, that's not possible. It's just two. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and they start heading back to the boat, and I'll talk about what happens at the end, near the end of this. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and cover is we get to see flashbacks of Strand's life. More specifically, one part of it, which is it kind of starts off with him at a bar talking to a business person, and Strand gets drunk with him, takes the guy back, which I believe his name is Tom, back to his hotel room, and then kind of takes his credit cards. The next time it flashes to Strand, there's a knock on the door. He's saying, just go away. And then they knock again. He answers, and it's Tom, and it's an associate of his. And Tom kind of walks in, and they start talking back and forth about what Strand did with the money that he basically took out of his credit card. And Strand goes, I invested it into credit card debt, $30,000 in credit card debt. And Tom's kind of wondering why, and that's where Strand says that's where he originally started from. So, I mean, Strand's a businessman. And you find out that he did go bankrupt. That's the reason why he was trying to take the money from this other guy, so that way he could start up a business again. But the funny thing about this is Tom actually kind of pulls him into his business instead, and they start kind of working together. As things kind of progress, you're kind of learning that the two of them are kind of getting close. In certain ways, and I was originally thinking friendly until the very end when, until like the last clip where you see the two of them kiss, and I'm just kind of going, all right then. So I mean, that's actually kind of something different that they really don't show in zombie apocalypse type situations, and something that you really don't get to bluntly see all that often in TV, at least the TV shows I watch. So I was just kind of going, well, all right then. So I mean, it's nice to see that they're taking different angles for the characters and not just kind of going the generic, heterosexual. But it's actually nice to see that they're, like I said, taking different directions, because it just opens up the character universe. I guess I'm going to call it a character universe. I'm used to role playing. To kind of a character universe where you can have these multi-layered and multi-diverse characters that have a really big background. To where it kind of makes you, it kind of gives the character depth. And now that we're not seeing Strand in just this one dimension of he's being manipulative, but he actually has a motive to why he's trying to get back to Mexico. Because before he went up to Los Angeles, he was in Mexico with Tom, and was at the place that he's trying to get back to. So he knows where it is. He understands what's there. He actually likes the place, and his lover is there. So, kind of makes sense that he would want to get back there. Now that I've kind of covered Strand and kind of done that, and also covered Nick, I'm going to go ahead and cover the boat. So, Chris and Ophelia are sitting there, and they're talking with each other, and they're actually kind of getting a little bit more personal information about each other's lives. And a boat kind of off in the distance starts coming up, and they're saying, "Hey, we need help," and they immediately start boarding the ship. There's two guys, one girl, and Chris basically pulls out his gun. He's wondering if he should shoot them, and he starts calling for his dad, and Ophelia starts calling for Madison, and people start coming out. And really, before anything else, the group is kind of getting split off, because there was two males and one female, and the female gets let off because she's pregnant, and it looks like she's bleeding, off to kind of a bathroom with Madison. And then pretty much everything kind of turns around on all the characters to where they're getting attacked. The pregnant woman takes down Madison, almost knocks her out. Either knocks her out, almost knocks her out, and then kind of ties her up and kind of brings her out. By the time Madison gets brought out, everyone else is tied up. And let's see here. There was a lot in this episode. That's one thing that I kind of liked about this, because it just went through one thing to another, and it was really nicely laid out. I actually liked it because you weren't stuck on one monotonous thing. You got to kind of jump around to the different things that the different characters were doing, including Strand, who actually, when the boat was getting attacked, he was running. Looked like he was going to get his gun, and he said, "You paranoid fool," and then he grabbed his radio or his satellite phone, and grabbed the keys and got into the water and basically started going off on a boat. Well, the people that took them hostage, a couple of them ran out and started shooting at Strand, who was on the boat. Hit the boat, and it starts deflating, but it goes off. They're not sure if they actually shot Strand or not. And the three people, there's one of them is Jack, who Alicia was talking to prior, I believe in episode 1. Yeah, I believe in episode 1. And you find out one of them is Jack. Then another one is his brother, who pretty much just wants to kill everything, is kind of the way I'm taking it. And he has no qualms in shooting people or wanting to kill anyone. And then there's the girl, which I forget her name right now. Sorry. But once everything's kind of taken over and they have everyone kind of in the area, Jack's brother puts a gun to Chris's head, because Chris is pretty much talking smack to him, and asks where the keys are. And Chris says that the keys are, basically after a little bit, gets let out that the keys are with Strand. And he's about to shoot him, going, "Where are the keys?" And Travis finally offers, "You know what? I can go ahead and I can rig the boat so that way it starts up." So Jack's brother takes him to go up to the basically where you drive the vehicle, drive the boat, and then Travis kind of leads him on a mission to a couple of different places throughout the boat. And the reason why he kind of does that is so that way he can go to an area where there's tools, so that way he can get some things for the group, for those that are in the situation that are inside, being held by just one girl. But she has a gun, and while the others are tied up. And he leaves some tools there so that way, if they do happen to break free, they can use this against the group. Now I'm going to go ahead, or against the group that attacked. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip to the end. And the fact that, well, one thing first. There was, like I said, there's a lot, and I'm sorry this thing is going on really long, but I actually really like this episode. Just saw it. It's awesome. You find out that the three of them were working for someone who actually comes on the boat, takes Alicia because of Jack, and then also takes Travis because Travis was able to start up the boat, and then leaves the rest of them there. Jack's brother's left behind, and then two others are also left behind as well. And when Nick and Louise are coming back, they're on this, they're on kind of like a little miniature boat, and they're sailing to the ship, and Nick is going, "Wait, there's people on the boat, I don't recognize them, and they have guns." And then Louise says, "Okay, take the rudder," so he does, and then he looks and he says, "The redhead," and Nick says, "The people with the guns aren't ours." So Louise grabs this very long rifle that he has there and shoots two of them in the head. Salazar, who is working on getting out of the bonds, gets out of them, grabs one of the weapons that Travis basically snuck behind him, and so does Madison. And Madison shoves one of the tools through Jack's brother's body. And then they go ahead and they find Strand, get him back. And pretty much from this point on, we're going to try to find out where Travis and where Alicia have gone to. Which I'll go ahead and do a predictions video here after this one. But I'm going to cut it here. Like I said, I like this episode. It really definitely had a really good pace to it. 9.5 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it. So, it didn't blow me off my seat, but it did really well, so I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Alright, so, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.